Hey everybody, so I wanted to do a quick behind the scenes video on how I stream and whatnot. Just showing you a little bit of the process since that's kind of what we've been focusing on. It's just doing our whatnot streams. But yeah, there's two of us behind Elvien Emporium, and we each kind of do things a little bit different, so I'm going to show how I do stuff and how I set up and whatnot. But it's pretty similar for the both of us. But the first step that I do is I go through my binders and I select cards that I want to run on the stream. I obviously can't run everything. But that's why I just go through and pick a few things and then I prepare my supplies. So I went to this cool store that had all kinds of supplies, including the BCDB ones. So I got a book bin and a few like team bags and random stuff there. And then I went home and I organized all the supplies and prepared. So I just put a bunch of top loaders and sleeves and team bags and everything I need in this little bin. That way I can move stuff around quickly since I need the supplies before the stream and after. So it's just easier to just carry it like this and, move it everywhere. But yeah, I've been trying to optimize my stream setup. I've been learning what works for me, what doesn't work for me, and what didn't work for me was not having everything near my desk. So I got this rack that I had in my room and I extended it, made it longer, and I moved it close to my desk. So here I'm sitting on my desk and that's where the rack is. And that way I can easily reach for the supplies that I need without having to get up constantly or reach, somewhere weird. So it just helps a lot. Obviously at the start, you don't have all this, but it's just as you go and you stream more is when you start optimizing everything. But it's just super handy. Like I put my bulk bin on here and now I can easily grab whatever I need without having to stand up and try to reach too much. But yeah, this was part of my stream setup, is just cleaning and like organizing and everything else. That's the main thing I do before my streams. When I say that I'm gonna prepare for whatnot stream, I literally pick out the cards that I'm gonna need, then I sort them. Like for example, these ones, I sort them in little piles so that whenever people ask for stuff, I can easily find it. So for me, what I've been doing, and I'm not sure if it's gonna be the way that I continue to do it, is I pull out a bunch of random stuff and then I sort it. So I found a bunch of these love balls, I put them together, and then I found a bunch of these older looking cards, I put these together, and then you saw that I had the fairy type cards, I put those together. I put all the EXs together in a pile, I put all the trainers in one, etc, etc. And that way whenever someone asks for something, I kind of have an idea of which pile it will be in. It is a bit tricky though, because since I don't have everything pulled out, some stuff is in binders, which is a bit harder to retrieve stuff from. But the stuff that I have in the bulk bin sorted by characters, those I can find easier. And I don't know, I'll see if I will optimize and change stuff, but this is how I currently do stuff and it's what has been working for me. So that's just what I do. I just sort them by character and whatever. But yeah, a lot of what I do before the stream is just literally just sorting it all out. And I, again, don't pull everything out because I just have too many cards. And I just try to make it so I can easily find stuff while I'm on stream running. Because what you don't want to do is have people waiting too long to get the card that they asked for or to see, So yeah, I just, to make the stream look pretty in the background, I put the cards that look all pretty, that the like flashier cards, full arts, the cards that people would be more inclined to stick around for and see what else you have. So that's what I do for the back wall. And then I just have, as I mentioned, the little stacks that I have separated off to the side. I'll show you guys in a little bit what that looks like. But yeah, literally what I do is just put stuff on the back wall, whatever I want to show off for that day. And then that's where I set up the camera in front of the rack. Kind of like this, a little bit. Sometimes I have different angles, and then sometimes you just move the camera around. That's kind of an issue I've been having. So I think that might be the next thing that I try to do, is just get like a different stand or something. I don't know, we'll see. It's all about slight improvements over time. Obviously it won't be perfected, And the thing about live streams is that everyone is so different. Sometimes the stream goes a certain way, it goes super well. And the next stream, it just kind of, it's different, it's not what you expected. You kind of expect how the last one went, but it's kind of unpredictable with streams. And it kind of makes it fun, but also tricky, so something to keep in mind, not to expect the same thing each time. And it also goes with the inventory thing, so sometimes certain cards do well, sometimes people ask for something totally different, and you just gotta adapt and adjust to that. But yeah, that's one of the things that I picked up on, and I haven't been streaming too much, That's why I've been kind of trying to make this video and show the process and everything behind the scenes. It's mainly been Elvien who's been streaming, but I want to stream more consistently, and I thought it'd just be fun to show the behind the scenes process and, you know, maybe share a few things that I have learned so far, and maybe get a few tips here and there. So yeah, one of the things that I have been doing though is I have been having the second rack, and I put all the piles of the cards on there, and it's just been such a game changer, since that way the cards just stay organized in little piles. I can easily grab them quickly instead of having like the piles on my desk or something, and then it just ends up a mess, you know. All the piles just shift into each other, they mix up, you can't really tell what the pile is sometimes or where the card pile is. But yeah, I just have it all here, and it's just been super helpful, honestly. I can tell from afar what the pile is. I can reach off to the side and grab the whole pile, quickly run stuff, and that's the name of live streaming. You just gotta be able to pull whatever people are asking for quickly. You gotta quickly run through stuff so they don't get bored. That's, you know, the main things. And if you could do that, keep it entertaining, then, you know, that's what makes a good stream. Obviously, I'm still learning and, you know, trying to perfect everything, but, you know, it just comes with time and doing it. But yeah, this has been something that's been super helpful for me. The other thing that has been super helpful is marking up the cards on penny sleeves, obviously. So I just take a permanent marker whenever I see a card that's not near my condition, and just mark it up, and that way I can easily tell when I'm running stuff on stream. You know, again, fast paced, I don't have time to inspect every card. I can just, you know, see from a distance, hey, this card is damaged or whatever, and I could tell them, you know, I could just show them, you know, the little damage, and that way they know, because we like being transparent about the conditions of cards. Obviously, not every card is near mint condition, and people have different definitions of, you know, the damage types. So I just find that this is what helps me keep track of that and, you know, be transparent with the conditions of cards. Again, especially because sometimes I run older cards, or, you know, cards that are a bit harder to find at times. So yeah, that's what I have been doing, and it's been super helpful. I just, you know, show the card on stream, point it out, and yeah, I also make a note of it on my stream. Not all cards are, you know, in mint condition. But yeah, that's basically the preparation, just sorting everything, you know, getting everything set up on the back wall, the little piles, and then I just stream. I just run stuff, you know, I just vibe with the people. I help them find, you know, whatever they're looking for, the characters with the bulk bin, whatever cuties they're looking for, and it's just super fun. And then, obviously, after the stream, you gotta pack all the orders. So what we do is we write the number with permanent marker on the sleeve or the top loader. I know some people might be like, oh, don't do that, because the top loader obviously is not pristine at that point, or the sleeve. But it's just the easiest method for us. And in case anyone wants to just rub it off with isopropyl alcohol, it's super easy. It just comes right off. But yeah, it's the easiest method for us. We just number everything 1 to whatever auction we go to. And then at the end of the stream, what I'm doing here is I'm separating by order. So I look through the numbers, and then I just pull up an order, and I just start picking them. So if customer A orders, for example, card 1, 3, and 5, I just look here and I pull those out, set them aside, and then I package those up. There are different methods to doing, you know, to plucking them out. You can just separate all the cards at once by order, or you could just do it as you go. You can do the big orders first or the small ones, whatever you want to do. I'm still trying to learn the best method for me to do that. I just have been doing it differently each time. I think in this one I was just going by order with the most amount of cards in it, and then separating those out in a few different piles, and then packaging up the order. I believe what I was doing here was I was packaging up one big order. So I got all the cards out for this order, I set them aside, and then I began packing. So as you can see here, I lay out everything I need: small envelope, big envelope, poly bags, the top loaders, business cards, and freebie stickers, as well as a marker just in case. And I just go ahead and pack it up. And the way I personally package things kind of depends on the amount of cards I order, because if it's in a poly bag with the weight limit being higher, I can obviously top load all of the cards, or most of them, and then I do that. For envelope orders with cards like 1 to 4, I top load all of them and then just put them in a piece of paper, like, you know, 1 card taped to a piece of paper, or 2, for example, side by side top loaded. If it's more than 4 cards in an envelope, I usually just put them in little team bags and don't top load them, because then we'll have issues with like the post office and stuff, and I just want to avoid that. Again, it's whatever works for you. My post office is very particular about the envelopes and the thickness of it, and if it doesn't bend a lot, they send packages back, which is really annoying. So I try to avoid that just so I don't have any issues with the shipping. But I know people have different opinions on how you should package stuff, and you know, everyone does everything differently. But yeah, this is how I do it. So yeah, for a lot of the cards, I try to top load them, all of them if possible, for the poly bags. But again, sometimes I'm running low on them, so I do the sandwich method, where I sandwich a bundle of cards in between two top loaders, and then I just tape it with washi tape and, you know, do the whole thing. But yeah, this is a big order that I was packing, so I'm going to skip through to after I top loaded them all. So since this order was massive, after I top loaded them all, I just put them in these little baggies. I sometimes use plain team bags, but I have these cute ones that I use for some orders. So I just put them in team bags and little bundles, as many top loaders as they can fit in there. And then once I have them all bundled all up, I moved on to the next step. And in one of the bundles, I put the business card and the sticker in, just so that they don't get messed up. Sometimes if it's an envelope, I just do whatever. I just put them in there. And then I included a little freebie keychain since it was such a massive order, and I just wrote a little thank you note. I try to do this whenever I can, obviously. It's a bit time consuming sometimes, but yeah, for this particular order, I just put the sticker, the business card, and then the keychain on this little thingy, and then I just put it all in bubble wrap and packed it all up. These larger orders are a bit more time consuming to pack, but I find them to be easier in a sense because I don't have to worry about the thickness of the envelope. And again, that's my main concern when I'm shipping stuff out. We've also had a bit of issues with like the tracking on the envelopes. I don't know, it's sometimes you consider just doing only ground shipping or, you know, priority shipping, but again, it's kind of tricky because we don't want to charge, you know, $4+ for shipping one card, for example. It's just not worth it. But yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, for this order I used a box. I haven't used too many boxes for these orders. It's just usually poly bags, but I have this perfect size box for all these cards, so I just put them all in here. And thank you to whoever ordered this. It's a good example of a bigger order. And then I have another one that was a medium-sized order. That one I could just do in a little poly bag since there was a lot less cards, but it wasn't an envelope. I don't think I have any footage of the envelope one. If anyone's interested in seeing another video or has other questions regarding whatnot, let me know and I might do another part 2. I just wanted to do a quick video, you know, the behind the scenes process again, but I don't want to make it too long because I have a stream to prepare for in a few hours. I'm doing a stream later today. I'm uploading this on 7/11. 7/11. But yeah, we'll see. Let me know if you guys want to see any other videos, and thank you so much.